Okay, so we just received a request for repairs. This is a very difficult time in a transaction. From the buyer side, they've only seen your home probably twice. Initially, when they saw the property, they fell in love with it, they decided to make an offer, and then the second time they're with the home inspector and he has an iPad and he's got all these tools around his waist and he looks super legit, like this guy is a contractor, knows everything. And sadly, he's not there to tell the buyer what he likes about the property. He's not talking about school districts. He's not talking about the views, the floor plan. He is spending his entire time pointing out things that are of a concern or things that the lovely state of California require him to point out. So typically, even when there are very few issues in a home, we're looking at 60 to 80 pages worth of disclosures and mandatory things that he has to put into his report. Okay, so now the buyers went through that report and maybe they feel a little defeated. Maybe this house that they thought was so perfect, all of these things have been pointed out to them. And they got together with their agent, they put this list together. These are things that are important to them. So we understand the psychology of the buyer. The buyer loves your home enough to write an offer on it, an offer that was acceptable to us. They came back, they had a home inspection, and now these things came up they weren't aware of, and they want an explanation on it. They want maybe further investigation, a credit, or they want the item repaired. There are a couple of different things that they may request. So it's especially difficult for sellers because you own this home. You know this home better than I do, better than the inspectors do. You've been living in this home. You know A, B, C, and D, those things aren't issues. The inspector didn't know how to turn something on. The inspector didn't know if you turn this switch, then this happens. So I understand all of those things. What I also understand is receiving that list of repairs can be difficult because there's some things on there that you just simply don't agree with. You don't think this inspector knew what he was talking about, or you just know. You've lived in this house, you know this is not an issue. So, I've been doing this for many years, and from kind of a 10,000 foot view, I've developed a formula which allows us to keep the transaction moving forward by giving a fair response to the buyers. So this is my 8 out of 10 principle that I apply when I receive a request for repair. I receive the request for repair, and I go through item by item before I contact you, and I always think about it the same way. If we didn't have these buyers in the transaction, if let's say we had 10 other different buyers, for item A, would 8 out of those 10 buyers request that we address that after receiving this report? They wouldn't? No, it's a silly thing. It's an anti-siphon device that comes up on every report. It's ridiculous. It's $2 from Home Depot. The majority of buyers are not going to ask that we do that. Okay, we're not doing that. We're not giving a credit. We're not addressing it. We're not acknowledging it. Okay? Now, we go to item B. Item B says that there's a doggy door in the door leading from your main structure that's leading to the garage. Okay, so this is an issue because it's a code violation. Now, you know it's not an issue. I know it's not an issue. The state of California says it's an issue. The inspector reported it. That fire-rated door that's going to the garage cannot have any types of holes, cuts, or unfortunately doggy doors. So, knowing that this item came up, knowing that if we go back on the market, any other inspector is going to bring it up, and chances are 8 out of 10 buyers would want that replaced, I'm going to suggest that we do work something out regarding that item. Whether it's replacing that door or issuing a credit in lieu of, that's something we're going to discuss together. But the principle is imagining that we had other buyers, because if this transaction doesn't work out, we have to go back on the market. If 8 out of 10 buyers are going to request this item, whether we agree that this is a genuine item or not, we should know that this is something we should probably address. And we will decide based on your situation, based on our circumstances in this specific transaction, we will discuss what the best way is to address it.